Hey everybody, welcome back to the Pet Food Puzzle Guy. And today we are going to talk about the pet nutritionists that we run into when we're on social media. And who are these pet nutritionists, and should we really believe and trust what they're saying? So that's what this video is going to be all about. So I hope you'll join me. I think we'll learn together. And a special shout out and welcome to everybody that's part of the nutrition mission. I sure appreciate you guys. So let's go ahead and get started. You know, when the internet was new, those of you that remember that, when the internet was new, sounds weird to you young folks, but for the rest of us, it was a new experience and we learned a lot. And there was a nutritionist, Dr. Rebecca Remillard, and she was with Hills for a while. And at the time she made this quote, she was, I think, the director of Angel Memorial Hospital. And her quote was, I used it in a lot of my presentations for years when the internet was new. And it was basically this, that she said, I spend more time debunking bad information than I do sharing good information. That's pretty sad, but that was the internet. It was brand new, and here's all this just information that everybody could grab. And of course, what do we know about the internet? A lot of it's bad information, right? Or misinformation. And that was back when it just got started. You can imagine now with social media, and you don't have to imagine it. If you're on my channel, you go to these other channels and it's a mess, right? It's a Wild West. And the other quote that she said that I, again, used all the time was, people don't consider the source. And boy, isn't the internet great for that? You can go look up something and then here's all these different references. And you know, if you don't think about it, you can click on a source that's way out there or one that really is credible. And you got to really be careful. Well, the same is true with pet food. And so if you go to, I'm an old guy, so I just do YouTube and Facebook. I don't do Instagram and TikTok and all that stuff. But I did find a veterinarian, Dr. Deer, just like the deer, like the animal. And she was on Instagram, but I could get some of her videos on Facebook. And she's a young ER veterinarian. And she gave an explanation of a board certified nutritionist. And I thought, wow, I need to make that into a video because she explains it better than I could. So this is for all of you out there. If you're still listening, if you've gone to the internet, you've gone to YouTube, and I hear this on in my comments section a lot on a lot of my videos. If you're one of these folks that you are just confused, your anxiety level is up to here, you were feeding something that you thought was great for your dog or cat, maybe it was recommended by the vet, and now of course you've learned from the internet by a pet nutritionist that was really bad. And oh my goodness, I could go through the list. You know, I didn't realize my dog was a carnivore and a wolf, and soy is bad, and corn is a cheap filler, and kibble is killing my dog, and I thought I was on this renal diet, and my cat died. I didn't realize, and I hear these stories from folks, and if I go to the other channels, these pet nutritionists channels, same way. At the end of their videos, the comments are just break my heart. People that I didn't know better, I didn't realize, and most of this information is coming from people that claim to be pet nutritionists. So I'm going to let Dr. Deer explain it because she does a much better job than me. What is a pet nutritionist, and how does that differ from a veterinary technician that goes for nutrition specialty, or a veterinarian that goes for board certified veterinary nutritionist? And let's hear from her because she explains it really well.
Terms like dog nutritionist, cat nutritionist, pet nutritionist, they're not protected terms, meaning anyone can use it. Like Barty here. In fact, I could make an online course, make you pay like $25 to take it, and say that if you pass my test, you are now a certified pet nutritionist.
So what Dr. Deer is saying here is that the term pet nutritionist or dog nutritionist, certified nutritionist, it's not a protected term, which I'd never heard that it expressed that way, or that term before, but a protected term. In other words, you could take that word and it can mean anything. It's kind of like a holistic. in pet food. It has no meaning. You could put it on any bag of dog food made any way you want and call it holistic, because holistic doesn't mean anything. It's just whatever you think it means. So here's somebody who's a certified dog nutritionist, and she was really great the way she said it. Dr. Deer can make up her own course, charge all of us $25 or $2,500, depending on how she wants to market herself. And we take the course and we do the tests and we pass. And guess what? You now can have this pretty certificate that shows you are a certified pet nutritionist from Dr. Deer's School of Nutrition. And that's what really is going on out there. Okay, it's just, anybody can do this. There are plenty of small groups. There's even a retail chain out there of pet stores, and in their website it says, oh, we're the only store with certified pet nutritionists. What did they do? They got together, made up a course, gave it to their employees. The employees take it, they pass the test, voila, they're certified pet nutritionists. That's the reality of what's going on out there. And those are the people you're watching their videos and just ripping your heart out, and your head's ready to explode because they're giving you all this information. Where did all that information come from? Did it come from a board certified nutritionist that lectured them on nutrition? Is it a real thing?
There are some terms that are protected, though, like a VTS in nutrition, which is a vet tech specialist in nutrition. Board certified veterinary nutritionists are another protected term.
And this is what you need to hear. Listen to the difference of the education, the time and energy and money and everything that goes into a true nutritionist versus just a certified nutritionist. Okay, so again, let's hear Dr. Deer.
And I just want to compare the level of education that's here. Most of these certification courses are a few days, a few hours, maybe a weekend. To be a VTS in nutrition, you first have to become a vet tech, whatever that means wherever you are. So 2 to 3 years associate bachelor's program. Then you have to be in practice for 3 years. Then you spend 2 to 3 years in the specialty. That third year can overlap with your application year. And then you have to fill out like case logs and everything during your application year under your mentor. And then 6 months after your application is accepted, you take the board exam, which is only offered once a year. To become a board certified veterinary nutritionist, you go to undergrad if you're in the US. So that's 3 to 4 years, depending on if you get a degree or if you do like just requirements. Then you go to veterinary school for 4 years. Then you typically do an internship. That could be rotating or nutrition specialized. Then you do your residency, though sometimes you have to do another internship if you don't get in. The residency is 2 to 3 years. Then you have to qualify for the exam. And then the exam itself takes 2 days, and you may not pass. So already that puts your veterinary technician, your veterinarians, at a higher level of education and coursework over these certifications, which again, anyone can make. And as someone who's taken some of these certifications, I took the final first on pretty much all of them. And other than some like borderline misinformation to disinformation some of them have, passed them all with flying colors without taking the class.
Now you can see why there are less than 100 board certified veterinary nutritionists in the country. Okay, I mean, holy cow, I was exhausted just listening to her. And for vet techs, now there are a lot of vet techs that I've trained that I know were just awesome with nutrition. As a matter of fact, the doctors were smart. They'd say, "Hey, Susie's going to talk to you about what we're going to do with Fifi, or your renal patient now, or your cat that has urinary stones. You're going to talk to Sally, and she'll explain it," because technicians sometimes can do a super job of explaining these diets even better than some of the veterinarians. Veterinarians get caught up in the veterinary jargon sometimes and get too technical, which I love that stuff. But most pet parents just give me the give me the basic facts, and technicians are great at that. As a matter of fact, that course that she was talking about in that video, Kara Burns is the vet tech that literally started that whole thing way back. She was actually Hill's colleague of mine, and it's just awesome what she has accomplished. And it took years and a lot of work, and that's a legit certification, not just some fly-by-night certification from some magazine or something. So that's the difference, and that's why it drives me nuts when the pet parent, are hearing this stuff and it sounds good. I mean, let's face it, pet food marketing in general, of course, it's going to sound good. That's the whole point, to get you emotionally and even intellectually sometimes connected to that product, that you just want it. You got to have it. You're on board. That's what these folks do. And these pet nutritionists, they mean well. They really, I do believe they do. They have their counseling fees they can charge. They write books. They do all kinds of stuff. And but it's all based on what they learned from whomever they learned it, who probably had no credentials to teach it in the first place. And they probably picked up most of that from other folks that were saying the same thing. And that's why when I look at their videos and I think, okay, they call themselves a pet nutritionist. Poor Cam from England. I beat him up pretty bad before I realized I have to be nicer. But here's his dog nutritionist. And oh my goodness, I remember his comments about cellulose and soy and just all kinds of stuff. It was like, where did this guy learn this? Okay. Who else? Again, there's been a bunch. If you watch my videos, I try to respond to many. Rachel Facero, who actually has a degree in nutrition on the human side, but now she's a pet nutritionist. And when you don't, you probably don't recognize it. You are hearing it all from these guys, but I'm the one that I can recognize right away. Oh, yeah, there's that same myth, and there's that same lie, and there's that same misconception. Oh, I've heard that a million times. Most of these folks get their information from Dr. Becker. She's the celebrity YouTuber out there that's, what do they call it, America's favorite veterinarian or something. Absolutely no credentials whatsoever in nutrition. None. Zero. Zilch, okay? None. But yet she has great stories and great pseudoscience, and very passionate, and she presents well and has a lot of followers and people that believe that pseudoscience, but it has nothing to do with reality. It's nothing to do with real nutrition. But that's what you're up against. So pet parent, if you're feeling confused and your anxiety is through the roof because of all this stuff you heard, going back to Dr. Remillard back in the 90s, whenever that was, consider the source. It's somebody that's into all natural and holistic, even though that means nothing. And are they selling something? Okay. I'm here. I'm not selling you anything. I'm not representing Hills anymore. I'm not representing anybody anymore. Just sharing my information with you. You can take it or leave it. Okay. But I'm trying to do my best to relieve your anxiety. Don't believe the stuff you hear out there. Increase the fear, because fear sells, okay? And sensationalism sells, okay? That's what you're getting from these people that claim to be nutritionists. I'm sure I have forgotten, probably in the year I've been retired, I've probably forgotten more about nutrition than any of those so-called nutritionists ever learned. So you're not going to learn from those folks. And again, ask yourself, what's their motive? Are they selling something? Pretty much they all are. I haven't found anybody that wasn't selling something, okay? Dr. Ray and her channel, she's not selling anything. Dr. M on Pet Vet Corner, she's not selling anything. I mean, there are people out there, they're not big celebrities, but boy, they're the ones you need to be listening to, not the so-called people. As soon as somebody tells me they're a nutritionist, I'm thinking, okay, here we go. It's going to be all pet food marketing. It's going to be all ridiculous stuff, and it usually is. I have no titles. Mr. is the only title I have, and husband, brother, dad, and grandpa. Okay, those are the only titles I have. But after 34 years of being trained by board certified nutritionists and training doctors for years, 34 years is a long time, and watching and seeing the results of different diets out there, that's what I bring to try to help you not have the anxiety. Life is hard enough, and there's enough anxiety caused by all kinds of stuff in our lives. The last thing you need to do is have anxiety over what you're feeding your pet. It's good to be concerned. It's good to try to be as knowledgeable as you can, but please, if I have any purpose to my channel, it's to relieve the anxiety, reduce the confusion, and part of doing that is recognizing people with titles of nutritionists and all. They may mean well. They really might. Anyway, I hope that's helpful. And please, let me know if I'm off base with this. But I put that they're a scam. They're a scam, I guess, in the way that they're trying to grab your heart and your mind and get you to do something that I truly believe is harmful for your pet. I have not met anybody that has a nutritionist title that has offered information that's good for your animal. Bottom line, okay? So that's why I'm doing my channel. And that's why I always encourage you, go to these other channels, check them out. They'll confirm much of the stuff I'm saying, and you'll see that there's a group out there that's trying to help you and not sell you a bill of goods. All right, so you all have a wonderful night. Enjoy, hopefully you're enjoying spring. And again, I can't say enough how much I appreciate all of you that have been part of my YouTube world.